but definitely hundreds and hundreds.
This meeting is being recorded.
To get finance for homes. So we're very, very familiar with what it takes, what your credit score needs to look like, your credit profile. Any questions? This is a Q&A session. So even while we're going through it, put stuff in the chat. If you have any questions about anything, relating to credit or home loans or financing or benefits or anything like that. So, but we're going to give everyone just a few more minutes to roll in here. But yeah, if you have any questions at all, please let us know. I'm gonna go ahead and do the Facebook, and then see if we can get it to where it doesn't do that whole feedback thing. I think once I log on, then I log back out, and then we're good to go.
Okay, sounds good. Do it.
There it says setting up your meeting for Facebook Live. And okay, I guess we are live now. We'll go ahead and setting up your meeting. Okay.
Good deal.
Being live.
Welcome everybody. Welcome.
Hey, everybody.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing good. Doing good.
Good. Good, man.
Fantastic.
Nice.
All right.
So what about Jonathan? Yes, sir.
But once again, any questions that y'all have, this is the time. We're really just going to focus on. Let me see here. I hear that echo again. Let me see if I can get rid of it.
Okay.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Sounds good on my end.
Sounds good over there?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Okay, I guess it went away.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's just go ahead and get started.
Yes, sir. Sounds good. So yeah, welcome everybody. Of course, my name is Dennis. I'm Coach D. Williams. On the other end there, you got Coach Robbie Allen, and man, we've been helping people get in position to where they can finance, get homes, investment properties, business funding, getting the credit right, the whole shebang. But tonight we're talking about first-time home buyers, right? Because a lot of people that we work with, of course, that's their goal, is to buy a home within the next year or two. And so we just kind of want to dive in and, talk about having the right mindset when it comes to getting into a home, knowing what the credit profile needs to look like, and just the whole process itself, because it's a big step when you're going into buying your first home. And it's exciting as well. It can be a very, for some people, it's scary. But man, it's a good time, and I want you to enjoy the process as you reach that goal, because it's a really good feeling when we have somebody come in. The goal is to buy a home within the next year or two, and they actually do it within that time frame.
And that is very, very, very possible. A year to 2 years is absolutely possible. Most of the time, if you really buckle down, you could get it done in a year.
Yeah.
Even if your credit's not straight, maybe you need to save up some down payment money, which we're going to go into what the norm is for that. But in a year's time, you could definitely do it. I mean, it's just like any other project or goal, right? Whether you're going to, take a year-long course and get a credit or a degree or a certification, or you're going to get in shape, at the beginning of the year, or you're going to start a project at your home, a remodel. A year is a good amount of time. And if you really put the time and effort and your resources towards it, you could do it. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to help you coach you through it and maximize your resources to produce the best results possible. So what did we, what did you want to start with, Dennis, with the home buying process?
Well, I mean, first off is, let's dive into the mindset of switching from, you've might have been renting for all your life, and now you're finna move into home ownership. Again, which is it's exciting, but it's a different game from when you're renting, because of course when you're renting, and a lot of people say, you're throwing your money away because you're paying on something that you will never actually own, but at the same time, when you're renting, you don't have to worry about fixing nothing if something goes wrong, right? You don't have to do any repairs, you know what I mean? You pay your rent, you stay, and when you're ready to move on, you move on. But you're going into purchasing a home, it's a little bit different, because it's on you, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's an investment, you know. You get to build, you're going to build equity, and I know a lot of people say that anything that's if it's costing you money, then it's not an asset, right? That's what a lot of folks will tell you. But the truth is, when it comes to a home, if you're going to be there anyway and you're paying on it, eventually you're gonna have a lot of equity in that home to where it is an investment, because then you'll be able to pull out of it to invest somewhere else or whatever it is that you may want to do in the future.
Yeah.
And I mean, what's your thoughts on that, Robbie?
And just adding on top of all of that, which all of that is absolutely true, is one of the things about owning a home or having a mortgage is that your mortgage doesn't change. As long as you get into a 30-year fixed rate, which, I guess we'll go more into that as well. If you start paying $2,000 today, 20 years from now, you're still going to be paying $2,000 a month, So I've been a homeowner and I've been a renter. And I'll tell you what, renting sucks. You know why? Because you start paying rent, it's $1,800, then $1,900, then $2,100. Then you're in the house, then they want to sell it, then you got to move. And I've been a homeowner for decades as well too. And I like that. Yeah, I like that a lot better. And, because one, it's a stable, fixed, rate for the entire time, as long as you get into the right loans, which most of the loans these days are good loans. They're 30-year fixed rate loans. And rents are going to go up and up and up, but your mortgage stays the same. You build equity in your property. And that as long as you just make your rent on time, that portion of your life is constant, and it's sound, right? It's built on a good foundation. It's not up to anyone else. When you got to move or do anything like that. So I think that owning a home is really, really important.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so, and another, one of the questions that we get a lot is, well, how much I got to have to put down, or, are there any programs for first-time home buyers and things like that? Which, yes, there are definitely a lot of different programs that's out there for first-time home buyers. And we have a whole network of lenders and, loan officers and brokers that we work with that can answer a lot of those questions as far as like what programs you qualify and things like that. But one thing I do know is that there's a program out there. It's called NACA, and it's NACA.com, whereas they will help you get into a home, and it's usually no money down, and you normally get the lowest rate. But of course, with any government program like there's a lot of loops that you got to jump through. It takes time.
You got to go through their course.
Yeah. You got to go through
a financial literacy course. But I think NACA is good. I mean, you have to go through a financial literacy course. You have to learn on, how to take care of your finances, how to be a homeowner. But yeah, they will help you, with that process. Generally, I will say, and that's if you can get a zero down, right? Generally, most people, if you're going, FHA, and there's 4 different types of loans, which we'll go over. If you're going FHA, they require 3.5% down, but between closing costs and everything else, it's probably closer to about 5% down. So if you're looking at a $200,000 home, you need to have $2,000 or $10,000 in your savings account. If you're looking at a
Yeah, at least.
$300,000 home, yeah, at least you need about 15,000. So that about 5% is a good number. And the banks, they like to see that money that has been sitting in a savings account, because they'll look over the last 6 months. They like to see that it just wasn't put there, by your rich uncle, last week, right? They want to
Yeah.
see that you had managed to save that money. So, but I guess while we're on the different types of loans, I mean, we can kind of go over that. So you've got FHA, which really is designed for first-time home buyers,
Yeah.
because the down payment is lower. The credit score requirements, you'll see advertisements out there that say that they can get it done for like a 580 credit score, or that there's no score. But if that was the case, nobody would be coming to us to get their credit fixed if they had a 580. So
Exactly.
really, you need, I mean, for it to go through nice and smooth, a 640 credit score, FICO score, not a Credit Karma score, not a Vantage score, but it's a mortgage FICO. A 640 is what you need. You could probably squeak by with a 620, but even today, I had a guy that I was working on his credit. He went to a loan officer. He had a 621, and they're like, "We can't do it." They said, "We want to see a 630." Well, guess what? We bumped up his scores, over 30, 60 days, and we ended up at a 640. But all he needed was a 630. So a 640 is a good score. 620 will probably be able to get through. And the way that they do it is there's 3 scores, right? There's TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. And one is not, they're like, which one do they pull? They pull all 3. And so what they do is they take your high score and they throw it out. So let's say your high score was a 650, and they take your low score and they throw it out. Let's say it was a 610. And the one in the middle, it's not an average, it's not a median, it's just the one in the middle. As long as that one's a 640, then you're good to go. So if you have a 640, a 645, and then your low one is, I don't know, 540, which is not how it normally is. Normally it's they're within 20 points, 30 points of each other. You're good. So that's the whole game, is just to get your 2 high scores to a 640 or above. Your low score does not matter. And that's what FHA is looking for. Now, of course, if you put less money down, you have to pay extra insurance. It's called mortgage protection insurance, unless you put 20% down. If you're going to put 20% down, then you should go conventional. You won't have to pay that mortgage insurance, and you'll probably get a slightly better rate. Then you've got USDA. That's more for, it doesn't have to be out in the middle of the country. It's the United States Department of Agriculture. There's pockets even within Bexar County where you can, that's considered agricultural land or farmland. It doesn't have to be out in the boonies with cows on it, right? And they're a little bit stricter though, but you can do a zero down loan with them. But I mean, what if you've seen it before, right, Dennis, where they want like a 680, they want a very good credit score, very clean score.
For USDA loans, you need at least a 680 or better.
Yeah, that's what because I mean, they're like, we're gonna give it to you for no money down and everything. And then you've got the VA loans, which are great, and thank you to all of our veterans out there. The VA loans are benefit for having served our country, and they're looking for a 620 as well. You can go 0 down with the VA loan. Of course, the more money you put down, the less your payment's going to be, and also it may be in your interest, because for any type of loan, because if you can put more, because you'll just be able to get more house, right? If you put more money down, then you can get more house, because then it'll factor into your monthly bills better. It's called a debt to income ratio. So, but anyhow, those are the different loans. VA is 620. They like to see a 640, 0 down. FHA, count on 5% and about a 640. Conventional, 20%. You don't have to put 20% down, but you can, and you won't have that PMI. And then the USDA loans. So those are really the 4 loan programs that are out there. So once again, any questions, if there's someone there, just put them out there so we can answer all of them. So go ahead, Dennis.
Yeah, I'm in the comments right now, Robbie. We had just to clarify, we had one question come through was asking, the FHA only looks at TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. And so just so everybody's clear, they pull all three reports. They will look at all three, but they're going to go with the score that's in the middle.
Right.
You know, so your mid score, which is what Robbie was just saying. So like, say, for example, if your TransUnion score is 610, your Equifax score is 640, and the Experian score is 630, then of course they're going to go with the mid score that's in the score that's in the middle, the 640. That's where you want to be.
Yeah.
So we got somebody else coming in. Let me.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. They'll take the high score,
Good deal.
throw it out.
So
Low score, throw it out, and they'll go with the one in the middle.
yes, sir.
Yeah. And to everyone that's joining us, welcome. Please, this is a very live webinar. I mean, these days you get on Facebook, it's like, come to this live webinar, and it's bogus. There's no live webinar. So this is all about Q&A. So we want you to ask all of the questions, anything that we touch on that you don't understand or doesn't make sense, just let us know, because, so we can help answer all of these questions, because we can answer them for you, for sure. Me and Dennis, we've gotten hundreds and hundreds of people financed. We get people financed every week, every month for homes. We work with our lenders. We work with our realtors. We know what the reports need to look like. We know what the scores have got to look like. We know the whole 9 yards. So any question that you have about home ownership, let us know. So
sure. And while we're hopping into it, one of the, as far as like the process when you go out to purchase your home, right? A lot of people, what they'll do is they'll just go out and start looking at houses, right? You're out with your family, y'all looking at homes, and you find the house that you want. You fall in love with it, like, man, oh my God, this is it. And then you go, the realtor that's showing you the home, they send you over to their loan officer, you apply, but you're not quite ready, right? So now it's like, man, what do I have to do? So what we highly recommend, right, of course, is always checking your credit first to see where you're at before you even start shopping for a home. You want to get your credit where it needs to be. Here's the flow. Get the credit right. Get with a loan officer to get your pre-qualification so you can see how much you qualify for. That way you know how much of a house you can be looking for. So once you do that, that's when it's time to get with your realtor and go find your house. And that'll save you a lot of time, and it'll save you a lot of heartache, disappointment, because it's a bad feeling, man. You go out and you're looking for homes, you find the home that you want, you know that you can afford the home, but when you go to apply for the home, on paper, it says you can't have it, right? So it's to save you a lot of heartache and a lot of time. Definitely tap in with your credit and make sure it's where it needs to be before you start shopping.
Yeah,
that's my recommendation.
You want to see that credit score and not a Credit Karma score, even though Credit Karma uses Vantage. It's an indicator, right? Obviously, if it's bad with Credit Karma, it's going to be bad with FICO. If it's a 700 with Credit Karma, it's probably going to be like, a high 600 score with FICO. So I mean, it is an indicator, right? It's not exact, but you want a 640 credit score, a mid score. Once again, they have all three. They take your high score, whichever bureau it's with, they throw it out. They take your low score, they throw it out. The one that's in the middle. It's not an average. It's the one that's in the middle. And then also a couple things that you can't have on your credit. And I mean, you have to take care of these things in order to be able to purchase a home. Is you can't have anything that's real estate related, like any broken leases. And they really don't differentiate between if it's a broken lease or if it was a cleaning fee or whatever happened. The banks, they don't want to hear why or this happened or we had to leave or it doesn't matter, So if it's real estate related from an apartment complex or a rental or something like that, then you want to, the best thing to do is to just call that company and settle it out. If you can settle it out and ask them for a deletion, it doesn't have to be deleted, but if you can get it deleted, then that's going to help your scores go up. but it doesn't have to be. Now, if it's really old, like if it's almost 7 years old, because everything falls off the credit after 7 years from the date of last activity with the original creditor. So if you moved out of that place in, let's say, May of 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, then that means it would be falling off this month. So it's probably not a good idea to settle out a debt that's old, because then you actually re-age the debt. So if it's something that's that old, I wouldn't, but that's what we're here for, right? To advise people and how to use their money to maximize their credit. I see we got a question here. It says, okay, what is the time allowed from when you find out how much you qualify for and finding your home before that amount is no good and you have to re-qualify? Normally it's about 90 days. You know, that's a very, very good question. I'm pretty sure it's right at 90 days. But what they do, and it's not that you wouldn't qualify for it, is that they'll, so let's say you get approved for a home today. When you go to, and normally the home buying process is going to take 36, 90 days. They'll just pull your credit. The lender will tell you, don't do anything. Don't get a late payment. Don't get anything, right? Because they're going to pull your credit one more time. So, so it could be, I know it's 90 days. It could be longer because then they're going to want to see more bank statements and stuff like that. But as long as you're, you're keeping everything the same, there shouldn't be any problems with qualifying. I mean, you may have to submit some more documents. I mean, if it was like 6 months out, but I think 90 days, you don't have to submit a whole bunch of new stuff. But that's an excellent question.
Yep. Yes, sir.
So yeah, so anything that's related to real estate on the credit's got to be settled or paid. They don't like to see judgments on there. You can have them, but you got to show that you're in a payment plan with them. And of course, anything that's IRS or tax lien related, it's not impossible, but you got to show that you're in a payment plan as well.
Yeah.
Really just
and the tax liens. The tax liens won't show up on the actual credit report. When you apply for a mortgage, they'll pull it from there's a company called LexisNexis that reports all the public records. So that's where they'll find that information
Yeah. Most people don't have problems with the IRS or tax liens or anything like that. But yeah, nowadays it used to be on credit reports, I think maybe 4 or 5 years ago. But for whatever reason, now they're not appearing on credit reports.
Yep.
So.
Yes, sir. And so, yeah, but that's the process in a nutshell. You want to make sure your credit's where it needs to be. Get with a loan officer to get your pre-approval, see how much you qualify for. And then once you get your pre-approval, that's when the fund starts. You can go out and start searching for, your home and where you want to be at. Like I said, there's a lot of different programs to assist with first-time home buying as far as down payment assistance and things like that. But when you're moving forward with a home, in my humble opinion, you really should just, make sure everything is you're good all around, as far as like your credit's good, your money flow's good, you got money saved, you're not stressed or none of that stuff. Because if you go into purchasing a home and you're barely holding on, it's just going to make things worse for you. Right.
Yeah, because they're also the banks look at, and to make sure that that you do have that financial stability. The banks look at they don't like to see any NSFs in your checking account. That shows that you're not managing your money well. I mean, you can have like 1 or 2 over a 12-month period, but not more than that. Just like on your credit, they don't like to see more than 1 30-day late over
within a 12 months.
So they want to make sure that you're on solid ground before you go into getting a mortgage. And I know I hear all the time, well, I pay my rent on time. I'm like, I know, and I've paid my rent on time before too. But it just that's not a factor at all, to a lender. The factor is your credit history, because what your credit history is, it's your reputation, it's your credit reputation. And it's a factual document containing, how you've paid all of these creditors, in the past.
Mhm.
So when you go to the bank and say, hey, can I borrow $300,000 or $400,000? They want to make sure that you have, they want to, that you have that good credit history. So,
Yeah.
And also I would say that I wouldn't overthink it when it comes to purchasing a home. Let your realtor do their jobs. Let the loan officer do their jobs. Your job really is get your finances in order, save up your down payment, and fix up your credit. Like those are the things that you can focus on. Your loan officer, yes, they're going to ask you for a lot of documents. I mean, documents after more documents after more documents. But you just have to whatever they go through their checklist, just got to send it over to them. It's a lot. The realtor is going to have not as many things, but there's a lot of papers to sign and do stuff, but they're all going to do their jobs, right? They're going to get you in contact with the right appraisers and inspectors, and make sure that it all goes to the right title, to a closing company, all that stuff. You just don't really have to know. A couple of other things with qualifying. 2 years on the job. They like to see that you've been working either at the same job or in the same industry for 2 years. And your 640 credit score gets you in the door, but what really determines how much house you can buy is your income, right? And normally they'll take like your gross income. Let's say I'm just going to use an easy number, right? So let's say you gross $6,000 a month. When a lender looks at it, they don't like to go over 30%, maybe up to 33% of that. So let's see. So what is that? 30% would be 1,800, 33. So it'd be about $2,000. They may go a little bit more than that. So that's your income is what determines how much house you can buy. And with the mortgage rates, it's not like a car, right? Where if you go to Ancira, you can't get qualified. So then you can go to Joe's Auto Lot. And in the lending world, if you pretty much get turned down at one place, you're more than likely going to get turned down at the next. That's your cue that, hey, you got to do a little something to get the scores up. But once you're in the range, that 640 and above, the interest rates don't vary a lot. I mean, it'll go from 6% to 6.75%, right? It doesn't go from like 6% to 15%. I mean, you might be looking at a half a point, which over time does add up, but it's not like that big difference like in credit cards or vehicles or things like that. So
Yes, sir. Oh yeah.
do we have any other questions out there?
Yes. Yeah, type your questions in if you have any questions at all. Also another, just a quick tip, like for those of you that's looking into new construction, like if you want to get your house built from the ground up and you're going to be dealing with one of the builders, just know that to get their perks, they're going to want you to use their in-house loan officer, right? So like you're not tied down to any one officer, but if you go through new construction, in order to get their perks that they may offer, you will have to use their in-house loan officer.
Yeah. And that would be going through, not like a custom home builder where you go in with an architect and you design it, but that'd be like DR Horton, KB, Riley, Armadillo Homes. Those are just some I know around here. And a lot of times they've got really nice homes. They're brand new. They've got 10-year warranties, and they have their own inside lenders. And they do give like no closing costs sometimes, or 15,000. They just give all different types of like Dennis was saying, perks to buying their home. So there are some benefits to doing that, and it's, you get a brand new house.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah. Any more questions out there? Let's see, we got some people in here. Yeah, so I mean, looks like we've answered a lot of the questions, man. If for those of you that are you looking to do something like at your own pace, as far as like if you know you need help with your credit or anything like that, we do have a home buyers program within our course that Robbie will show you guys here in just a moment
Mhm.
with where you can actually go at your own pace to work on your credit, get your credit right, or of course you have an option if you want to work with us directly, you just give us a call and we'd be happy to help you out as well.
Yeah, let me pull that up. So we've got share. So we have our what's called our Get to It Academy, and it's our online course, and it's got a lot of different things on it. Mastermind, Book of the Month, side hustles. But what we're talking about right here, and can you see that? Is it on the screen, Dennis?
Yeah, it's showing. We can see it.
Okay, good. These are the two that really apply to everyone on the call this evening, which is get your credit right. And this is credit basics, seven steps to a 700 score, dealing with bankruptcy, dealing with identity theft, co-signing, judgments, tax liens, collections, charge-offs, building positive credit. All of that's in there. And then how to buy a house, the traditional way, self-employed business owner, buying a house using creative financing. So these would be the ones that really apply to y'all. And and of course the course, if you're a business owner in here, it's got how to build business credit and all this, but that's for another webinar. But the entire course, it's $5. It's $5 a month. So you go to if you can you throw it in the chat, Dennis, Get to It Academy. Yeah, gettoitacademy.com. You go down to the bottom, and we're basically giving it away. I mean, if you want to be a homeowner in the next year or two, if you did everything in the course, then you could be a homeowner, right? It's $5. You just go in, it's $5 a month. You go in, you fill out your information here, boom, you hit place order, and then you have access to all of this information. So, I mean, that's the first step, $5 you can't lose. Also, but as Dennis was saying, if you would like to have a consultation with us personally, and then we're your credit coaches, we're here to help get you, we're here to help you win is the bottom line.
Absolutely. And either way, whether you guys decide to go through the course and do it at your own pace or work with us directly, either way, you still have access to our resources, our entire network. Sure. So we're here to help you throughout the entire process. For those of you that's going to go through the course, you also have an option to do just $50 for an entire year, and you have access to all of the information that's there. But again, one of the big things I think, of course, is being able to have access to us as well as our resources to walk you through the process. So you guys, your first time around, you don't have to make some of the mistakes that we made on our journey. You know what I mean? So we're here to stop you guys from doing that and help you, purchase the right way.
Absolutely. So let's pull this back up here. All right, we're both back on now. Okay, yeah. Awesome. So so Get to It Academy's got the core. I mean, how to get your credit right, how to buy a home. It's all right there. And then, or you can reach out to me and Dennis, and we can, go through and see what we can do to help you. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. And thank you very much for attending our workshop. We hope that y'all got a lot out of it.
Oh yeah. All right, everybody. Appreciate y'all. See you on the next one. Right.